we could just kind of be like face to face.
Yeah.
Type. We can work that.
Hey, everybody. So, thank y'all for being patient with us, right? So, we've been trying to get on this live for like 40 minutes now. And,
Is it live?
yes, live.
Oh, okay.
We've been trying to get on this live for like 40 minutes now. And we finally were able to get onto the live. I have my tablet up to see any comments or whatever that you guys may have. But good evening, everyone. As y'all know, I'm trying to get like in the
You
camera
want me to
good. Yeah,
come
like
around like this?
yeah,
Is
that's
that
good.
better?
That's
Okay.
good. So, as y'all know, I'm Dr. Jazz, and I come to you guys as the self care guru, and we talk all things self care all the time. And so, what we wanted to do today was come to you with some different talks. I know y'all probably seen my video about Testimony Tuesday talks with Dr. J, and I'll have a special guest. Well, today I have my very first special guest, Miss Dee Dee. Miss Dee Dee is so special to me because, like, I met her in like maybe in the summer, so almost a
Yeah.
year
Yeah.
ago.
Mm-hmm.
Almost a year ago. Instantly connection. She's like my spiritual mother. Um, so much full of knowledge. She knows God. She loves God. She just loves people, and she reminded me so much of myself. I thought so much that like I probably would be like her when I get older. So today we was just trying so hard to get on this live to talk to you great people that she came to my house. Literally, we trying to get on Facebook Live, and she lives like one subdivision around from me. So I'll let Miss Dee Dee introduce herself a little bit, and how this goes is we're just going to be talking back and forth, and I'm going to be interviewing her about her self-care journey, and she's going to talk to us about her testimony and how her taking care of herself brought her out of the situation that she was in. So Miss Dee Dee, tell them just who you are, whatever you want to say.
My name is Deirdre Stovall, and I'm a native of Atlanta, Georgia. I was raised up on the west side of Atlanta. I am 56 years old. I am
56 well, but okay, keep going.
I'm 56 years old, and I've lived in Atlanta my whole life. So I am a recovering addict. On January the 28th of 2023, I celebrated 25 years of sobriety. And I've been through a lot here in the city. I've seen a lot. I've seen the city change. I've seen me change. I've seen sceneries change, hospitals close, a whole lot in Atlanta. And
So she is, let me stop her there. She is a true ATLN. So a lot of people know that a lot of people that live in Atlanta right now are not from Atlanta. They just migrated here, like as me. I'm a military brat, and I grew up in Alabama, but I'm not an Atlanta native, even though I've been here forever. Let's just give her a round of applause for 25 years. Like, she just slid that in one day on her anniversary when we were talking. And I'm like, 25 years of being sober, that is like amazing. Like, that is a total big deal. So, I told her I wanted her to share, and I gave her flowers while she could still smell them, because I feel like that's a great thing. So Miss Dee Dee, let me ask you this first question is, you said that you are a recovering addict. At what point did you feel like, okay, I'm tired, I want better for myself?
I never really said I was tired.
Okay.
God told Satan to take his hands off of me.
Mm.
And I had a willing heart. And at that point, God knew that my heart was ready.
Mm-hmm.
Many times before, I had an opportunity to get clean,
Mm-hmm.
and I would stay clean for a short period of time, go back and forth, back and forth. But this last go round, it was just really, really different. It was as if something just lifted off of me.
Mm.
And I had the spirit at that particular moment to actually step into what God will was for my life at that moment. Because other times I remember trying to stay clean and it was such a struggle. But this last go round was not a struggle. I think, as they would say, the rubber met the road, and I was just tired of being tired.
Okay. And sometimes we get tired of being tired. So I just want to harp on for a minute. She said she had been clean for 25 years. So I asked Miss Dee Dee one day before I even knew this. I said, Miss Dee Dee, they said that if you are fine at 40, you'll be fine forever. And so she started laughing because she was like, baby, I'm 51 and I thought I was fine even when I was in the streets. What you told me, 90,
87 pounds soaking
she
wet.
said 87 pounds soaking wet, and I still thought that I was fine. So I was like, okay, I wish I had that confidence all my life. But so Miss Dee Dee, you said that it's like something lifted. On this on this journey, it's been 25 years now
Mhm.
since you've been clean. What has kept you at that state? Is it something that you do every day to take care of yourself? Is it something that you practice? Like, what does your self care journey look like in order to stay 25 years and counting clean?
The number one thing that started for me very, very early in my recovery was I have affirmations
Okay.
all around me. And every morning I wake up, I tell myself, I'm in love with you, Deirdre. I am
That's
so in
beautiful.
love with you. So I start that out in the morning, telling myself that I'm in love with myself because we have to love self before internally before we can give it externally.
Exactly.
So that's number one. Number two is having a plan for the day.
Mm-hmm.
That also is self care. Something out of the day, if it's nothing but 15 minutes, is dedicated to me.
Mm-hmm.
Leave me alone. I turn my phone off. I'm off the grid. Nobody has access to me for 15 minutes of the day but myself and God.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it varies at different times that I might need to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I may be feeling myself getting flustered or frustrated at 12 o'clock or
Exactly.
10 o'clock or whatever it is. But I take that somewhere along the day, you're going to need those 15 minutes.
Exactly.
So I was like, okay,
And longer
right,
sometimes.
it's my 15 minutes. You know what I mean? To allow no one to have access to me and for me to tap into what I got, what's going on with me internally. I have to always be aware of where I am at all times, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually
Mhm.
at all times.
And so that's good. So y'all heard her say that she takes time for herself. It's important. It is so important that you know like your triggers,
Hmm.
um just by you saying that, Miss Didi, you know when you're about to get flustered. You know when you
Hmm.
need that time, even if you're not about to get flustered, but you just feel like maybe your energy is being drained or it's getting a little bit lower, and you need it to go back up higher in order for you to accomplish what you need to do. Self care is just all about knowing who you are,
Hmm.
and you really can't do anything unless you know who you are. So you have to take that time to know yourself, deal with yourself, process things within yourself to be the best person that you can be. During this journey, and you can stop me if you need to. During this journey, has it been times that you had to just walk away from family, walk away from friends in order to take care of yourself and remain sober? Okay. Okay.
Unfortunately, it has not because I picked up a torch
Okay.
from two older sisters. I'm the next oldest.
Okay.
I've lost my two older sisters. And as God cleaned me up, it was like, okay, now you know I had to pass this torch on to you. So I
Mhm.
walked into seeing about both
So
of
you
my
knew your
sisters.
assignment.
Right.
Mhm.
I walked into knowing that I had to see about my sister's children. I walked in knowing that I had to see about my husband's children. And I ended up raising a village of people. But he would never put too much on your heart than you can bear.
Mhm.
And I bared it, and I bared it with grace. Now everybody's grown, everybody's gone on their own separate way. Now it's my time. My assignment for his family, friends and people. Now I've had to cut people off.
Mhm.
Uh,
As we all do
yeah, I've
in
had
different
to
seasons. Sometimes we
because
try to make seasonal friends,
right,
lifetime
right,
friends, and that's even with family too. So I
yes,
tell people it's not just from my experience. I'm a expert at my experiences because I walked them and I lived them and I did it. But it's sometimes you have to cut access to
yes,
family,
absolutely.
whether it's your parents, whether
Hmm.
it's your siblings, whether
Hmm.
it's your best friends, whoever it may be in that season,
That's
they
not
may not come.
healthy for you. It
Exactly.
doesn't matter who it is. If they're not producing love,
Exactly.
motivating you in that way, then you have to evaluate what that person is bringing to the table for you to grow.
Exactly.
And is things going both ways? Or am
Exactly.
I just giving, or is this person giving? Even if it's not, if that person can just give you an encouraging word, just call and say, "Hey, girl, how you doing today?" It
Exactly.
doesn't have to be anything financial, but just depositing something in your life.
And not
So you
just
have to
taking,
evaluate who's depositing and who's not.
and who's only taking.
Right, right. And some are not taking, some are needy.
Exactly.
So we have to know the difference between those that are very needy
Hmm.
and in need of what we have to give in God's light. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
We have certain things that we are destined to give out because God
Hmm.
has implanted in us, and the only way we can do it is give it back because it was so freely given to us.
Exactly. So that is so true. When you're a giver, like we are, sometimes it may seem like Miss Dee Dee said, sometimes it may seem like people are using you or taking advantage of you, but they see the light in the gift in you that God has placed in you. And it's not that they're using or abusing, it's just that they need it and they see it, and it's up to you to have discernment to know
Yes.
when to give it, how much to give it, how long to give it. You just have to be in tune with
Self.
yourself and in
Hmm.
tune with
God.
your spiritual relationship with God. And it's not about religion, it's not about this, it's not about that. Your spirituality is directly connected with the relationship that you are in relationship with God. So what that looks like for me and Miss Dee Dee, or what that looks like for me or for her, may be totally different from somebody else. You have to have your own personal relationship with him. So it's important to have that personal relationship, and it's also important to know your purpose, like to know what you were put here on earth to do, so you won't get so flustered, because the very thing that you may get begin flustered about is the very thing that God put you here to do. So another question, Miss Dee Dee, what do you think helped you when you were just out there in the world, just doing drugs, or what do you think was like your saving grace, or what's the one thing you always thought about that?
Well, I would say the strength of my women that were my mother. I was raised by some very, very strong women.
Mm-hmm.
And even in my addiction, my mother always told me, whatever you're going to be, if you're going to be a hoe in the street, be the best hoe in the street. Excuse my French.
I'm saying, we
So,
this is all about truth.
uh,
So,
when I was out there, as you just spoke on, I had confidence. I still had, myself together. I was still like, honey, I got this together, and didn't have anything together. So just the pride of the people, the women that have in my life, they raised me up in pride. I don't care what I
mm-hmm.
had going on. I always held my head up high. I never, you know, I never lost hope.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing that kept me. I never lost hope. And I
Mm-hmm.
fought and battled this addiction for 8, 9 years before I
Mm-hmm.
got clean. I was in my addiction for 9.5 years, and I would stay clean a year, stay clean 6 months. I'll fall, I'll get back up. And I kept falling, I kept getting back up. And I knew one of those times that I wasn't going to fall again. So just knowing that and the strength of who I am as a woman,
Mm-hmm.
and as I watched my mother go through things in life, and I'm like, she dealt with that. I saw strength from
Mm-hmm.
my mother, my grandmother. I saw strength.
Okay. So, if you had to, I guess before because I don't see anyone has any questions, but before we leave, tonight and get off this live, if you had to look in this camera and tell one person or somebody that may need to see this to give it to somebody else, if you had to say one thing to a person that's addicted, or that's just, they don't even have to be addicted to drugs, they could be addicted to pornography, they could be addicted to you know
Addiction is
alcohol.
an addiction.
Addiction is addiction no matter what it is. Addicted to always dependent on somebody. So if you could look in this camera and tell that person something that will help them turn the next leaf, what would it be?
Keep the hope and keep moving. Keep putting one foot in front of the other. Never give up on yourself. Never, ever, ever give up on yourself. Always reach out to someone because you can't, it's something that can't be done by yourself. You're going to need a team of people, but you have to reach out for help. A closed mouth does not get fed. You have to humble yourself and say, I need help. And you'd be so surprised at how many people will come on your journey to get you. I'm standing, sitting witness right here of people that God just placed on my journey to get me where I needed to go. When I didn't have, I look around, I was homeless when I came home from prison. So that's a whole nother story. But God put people in place because I was asking at that point, God, help me. I don't know where to go from here. You know, they've let me off a bus at the Greyhound downtown with nowhere to go. So
And that happens a lot with
yeah,
people.
yeah, from nowhere to go.
So,
And I had to just have hope. That's all I had at that moment was hope. And I kept the hope alive in my heart. I kept trusting God, even though when I couldn't trace him. And I'm like, what is happening, you know? So my thing would be to trust God, trust the process, but get some help. Reach out, call 1-800 helplines. It's all different NA meetings, AA meetings, CA meetings, MA meetings. Connect with somebody in a meeting, connect with somebody in your church, but reach out for help and you'll be surprised that people will receive you. There's an angel out there that God has already assigned to you.
specifically
Yes,
assigned to you.
specifically assigned to you. And if you ever need my assistance, you know how to contact Jas. I'm willing to help. I do volunteer work. I tell my testimony. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a whole lot deeper than what we were able to share today. But thank you for your time, and I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you so much for
You're
coming, Miss
welcome.
Dee Dee. I know it was a struggle in the beginning, like she couldn't get on the live for some whatever reason, but I know it was because her story is supposed to bless somebody out there that needs it. So I would end by saying, you guys, don't lose hope. Like Miss Dee Dee said, don't lose hope. You'll be so surprised at the people that's out there waiting to grab your hand and help you along this journey, and they won't judge you. I tell people, who am I to judge you?
I
I've
will
done
love
wrong
them
too,
until
and
they
I
love
continue to
themselves.
do wrong, like, and I will do wrong until the day until I go in the grave. So what I would say to you is, don't leave hope, trust the process, know that God got you no matter what, and that if you take care of yourself first, then you will be where you need to be and who you need to be for everybody else. So, y'all, we are so glad that y'all entertained us tonight and we were able to speak life into someone. If you know somebody that need this, please share it with them. Please help them along their journey. And I'm signing off, Dr. Jas, your self-care guru, and we will see you next month for our next testimony Tuesday talk.
Bye.
Hey.